The truce in Ukraine never had a chance. The slaughter on the streets of Kiev erupted again just hours after a ceasefire was announced between police and anti-government protesters. This is Kiev, the capital city, the center of the violence. The health department there reported 67 people were killed today. For 3 months, protesters have been demanding that Ukraine have greater economic ties with Western Europe. This week, the protests exploded in violence. CBS News correspondent Holly Williams is near the square in Kiev tonight. Holly?
Scott, the fighting has died down here in the center of Kiev tonight, but after a day of bloodshed, the demonstrators are already putting up new barricades, preparing for more violence. Ukraine's fragile truce crumbled within hours. On Kiev's Independence Square this morning, protesters were picked off with live ammunition. Affluent city streets became a battleground. Some demonstrators were also armed. Others targeted the riot police with flaming Molotov cocktails. Dima Uranov normally works as a consultant, but now he's joined the fight against the government. Last night, the two sides agreed to a truce.
They started first. They started shooting first. We're staying here, just staying, and they start shooting.
It's unclear who broke the truce first, but both sides suffered casualties. Many of those injured in the clashes were treated in a makeshift clinic set up in the lobby of a hotel. But for some, all help was too late. This man told us the 7 demonstrators here were all deliberately killed with shots to the head and neck. On another corner of the square, these men prayed and wept for their fallen friend. After occupying the heart of Kiev for nearly 3 months, they're exhausted. This started out as a peaceful protest, but has now become a deadly power struggle. The demonstrators want Ukraine's government thrown out, but the country's leaders are determined to stay in office. On a side street, these captured policemen were lined up and led away by protesters. Where are you taking them? They said they wouldn't harm their prisoners, but refused to tell us anything else. As Ukraine's political divisions turn bloodier, neither side is innocent, and neither side is ready to lay down its weapons.
Holly, if no one's willing to lay down their weapons, what chance is there of a peaceful resolution?
Well, Scott, Ukraine's parliament just voted to send all government security forces back to their bases, which the protesters have been celebrating. But that does not mean an end to this crisis. The riot police won't leave until Ukraine's president signs that into law, which he may not do. And the protesters have said all along that they won't leave until President Viktor Yanukovych is removed from power.
A situation developing by the minute. Holly, thanks very much. Now, here is why this is happening. Ukraine is being torn in two over its national identity. In essence, the West wants political and economic ties with Western Europe. President Yanukovych and the East want strong ties with Russia. The Ukrainian government is nearly broke, and there's anger with President Yanukovych, who has jailed his top political rival and held elections that outside observers said were rigged. We are also hearing now that the president has sat down with opposition leaders to negotiate a resolution to this battle.